Welcome to Heart in Hand, the Rangers podcast, the podcast that thought it had seen everything. This week on Heart in Hand, a leprechaun, 10 goals and a fat man pretending to be an aeroplane. So welcome to Heart in Hand, the Rangers podcast. My name's David Edgar, I am your host, and I'm joined this week by two of my very favourite podders, Mr. Alex Staff.
Hiya, David.
And Mr. David Marshall.
Evening, gents. Pleasure to be here.
So let's go immediately to to Easter Road, where Rangers took on Hibs, attempting to get a second place that was not to be due to a not unexpected result, it must be said, at Parkhead. I think a few of us made a few bob in that. I think the bookies, Alex, must have priced that one on form as opposed to what was going to happen.
Yeah, that was a rather strange decision by them. Whoever, I would imagine they got fleeced a little bit. Whoever's come up with that might be getting his arse kicked this morning. Yeah.
Like I say, I know, I mean, I was on it. I think a lot of people were on it. 7-1 I got it on, and a lot of people, it went down to I think 11-2 at the end. But yes, the most obvious result ever. But still, that's not what we are here about. We're here about Rangers, and we witnessed one of the most schizophrenic performances I think I've ever seen from a Rangers side, David. It was bizarre in terms of it was simultaneously one of the best performances and one of the worst performances, depending on what minute of the season, or depending on what minute you were tuning into.
It was, in a lot of ways, it was this entire season, summed up in 90 minutes. We basically had everything in that match, where what we've been talking about for the entire season. Awful defending. The first three goals were, all the goals really we conceded were atrocious. One stick out for me, the one, I think it was the second one, with Russell Martin firstly giving his man the space to get free for the header, then turning his back when he goes up for the challenge, sums up Russell Martin's Rangers career perfectly. I'm quite happy and thinking that'll be the last we ever see of him. The penalty that we gave away at first I thought was never a penalty, but looking back it was, hands up, it was definitely a penalty in my opinion. Bates, I don't know if he just lost the guy out the corner of his eye and just panicked, but just, unbelievably stupid for a centre half to give away a penalty like that. Then, of course, we came back, and especially in the first half, scoring three really good goals. The ones from Tav and Rossiter were absolutely perfect. Tav's one to get us back into it, the first was, in a way, I kind of thought we almost sleepwalked into it, because we seemed to have chucked it, then all of a sudden we had this breakaway and we scored a goal, and the team went, oh fuck, we're actually in a game here. Rossiter's goal was an absolutely fantastic finish. I thought he played really well yesterday. And Big Bruno's goal, I think he played important role when he came on, settled the defence down for Goss going off, and the free kick was absolutely sublime. And then much the same in the second half, looking as if we got over the line with 2 goals from Holt, but once again just insane defending, letting us down in the end.
Alex, there aren't many teams at all who this season or next season will go to Easter Road and put 5 past them. So on the one hand, it's a remarkable achievement. On the other hand, Rangers should not be conceding 5 goals ever, never mind to Hibs. But the first 20 minutes was as awful a performance as you'll see. It was McDowell at Easter Road-esque. It was that bad. There was nothing right about that match. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong. None of the players played well. We were completely overrun. It was reminiscent of the Celtic matches. They stood off. They couldn't get anything going. They were arguing with each other. For the next, 40, 45 minutes, 50 minutes, Rangers play at times some breathtaking stuff and some really great football and just totally dominate Hibs. And then I thought the job was done and basically then just had nothing in the tank at the end up. But look, a truly bizarre game of football, a freak game. But as David says, although the result is a freak result, and it is, there won't be many more 5-5s we'll see watching Rangers in our lifetimes, but it wasn't a freak performance. We've seen aspects of all of this from Rangers over the course of 2018.
Yeah, we have every single bit of it. I suppose there was a few positives, completely overridden by negatives. Every single player, well, pretty much every player, had as many mistakes as they did moments of good play, which is normally when you're trying to kind of analyse someone, you're able to focus on one or the other and ignore the other one because it didn't happen that often. But it was kind of difficult with almost everyone apart from the centre halves to really know, if they were good or not. Can I just say, by the way, on Bates, I thought it was a poor decision at first, but what I think's happened, this is going to sound daft, it's actually the height difference between the two that's caused that penalty, because Bates has put an arm out to just feel where he is, and if that's a slightly taller striker, all he does is kind of, arm in the chest. But because of the way, because of Bates' height compared to McLaren, he's essentially clotheslined him. And that's caused the penalty, because it's one of those things. He's been ball watching, he's not quite sure where the striker is, so he puts an arm out to kind of have a feel for him. It wasn't anything malicious, but because that guy's so short compared to him, he's essentially just clotheslined him in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Down with short strikers.
Yeah, I'm with David actually. At first I thought never a penalty, and then watching the replays I was like, okay, fair enough, I've got that one wrong.
Well, but the really silly thing that it was right in front of the referee, but then as we found out later on, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to lead to the correct decision.
Well,
so.
Yes, I'm sure we're going to come to that.
Well, we are.
I'm almost getting sick of talking about referees. I don't know how you guys feel.
Well, me too, but then they keep doing this, so there's not really much we can do. But sticking with the actual football side of it, Alex, I thought that, look, going into the game, nobody was really talking about Hibs needing six. To be fair to Hibs, neither were they. But after 20 minutes, we were chatting away to each other in the WhatsApp group and Twitter, follow everywhere. Everyone's going, shit, they could get this, because there was nothing at all there. The team looked as though they didn't want to be there, that they'd completely chucked it. Even though it only lasted really up until Tav got the goal, there was a kind of 2-3 minute spell where the Rangers fans were stunned, the Rangers players were stunned, and the Easter Road crowd were going completely mental, which may almost have burnt itself out because Rangers scored a goal, that it almost woke everybody back up and lifted them out of the kind of trance that they'd gone into at 3-0.
Yeah, that's fair. As David said, we almost walked into our goal with Tav and then kind of woke up. It was, see, even before the game, the woman who was interviewing, I think it's Ailey Barber, her name is, isn't it, for BT Sport? Yeah. She was interviewing Neil Lennon, and she actually mentioned the 6-goal swing, and even he was laughing, and he was like, even he kind of laughed about it and said, we'll have a go, but, you could tell he thought it was extremely unlikely. At 3-0, the way he was celebrating, the way we were playing, they must have all believed it, which almost makes what happened afterwards all the more sweet, doesn't it? That they will let them get that wee kind of sense of, oh, this is on. Chris Sutton giving it the whole, we're about to witness something very, very historic, and then pretty much said about 2 words for the rest of the first half. The Rangers came storming back into it. It almost makes it a bit sweeter, but to be honest, I would rather, that game ended up meaningless. That game ended up absolutely meaningless because of what happened with Aberdeen's result. I felt as though I'd been put through one hell of a ringer yesterday. I'd rather not. I'm all for entertainment, guys, but I'd rather watch those games as a neutral, not as a fan. Give me a couple of them at the World Cup. I don't want to see any more Rangers 5-5s anytime soon.
My wife always asks me after the game, what was the result, because she doesn't follow football, and then says yay or boo accordingly. So I said it was 5 each, and she went, okay, not quite sure. And she said, well, at least it was entertaining. And of course I said, no, I don't want entertaining with us. I want dull 3-0 victories all the time. Entertainment is for the EPL. That's why we watch it, right? Or Spain or Italy. It's not for Scottish football. I think that I've criticised them a lot this season, David. We all have, and there will be bits of this match that we will have to again. But they did show some balls, and they did at Pittodrie this week. But I couldn't help but feel, too little, too late, unfortunately. And even then, although they've showed character each time, it still hasn't led to victory. You know, it's still character that doesn't hit what Rangers need them to hit.
Mm-hmm. I think before the game I said that I just don't have any trust in this team, and any chance of taking to let us down, you know, they've grabbed it with both hands, and I thought it was going to be, you know, the same yesterday, and they proved me right, proved me wrong, then proved me right again, all within the space of 90 minutes. I think when it comes down to it, it's just a team that's full of guys who either mentally don't have it or just not good enough, and that's reflected throughout the season, and, you know, yesterday as well. Credit to them, they did come back into it and got ahead, but again, it's a big caveat that we shouldn't be going 3 behind Hibs, and we shouldn't be throwing away a 2-goal lead either. So, as you said yesterday in the post-match, it's such a hard one to digest, and what do you actually take away from it, you know?
What I take away from it overall, and this is maybe unfair, Alex, is that I'm glad I don't have to see quite a few of them ever again playing for Rangers.
Mm-hmm. It would seem so anyway. Yeah, you'd be surprised. I almost feel as though Lee Hodgson was put on like a sympathy sort of thing. You know?
I thought that as well. I know some people.
Go and have your last 20 minutes as a Rangers player.
Yeah, I thought that. I know some people were like, "Why not Doherty?" But I thought it was right, on you go, son. Enjoy it. This is your kind of valedictory performance.
Yeah, it was almost that kind of feeling to it, because it didn't really make much sense in a tactical viewpoint. You know, yeah, okay, Halliday's considered a more defensive midfielder than Doherty, but Halliday, well, let's be honest, the last few months has been horrendous, I think, is a fair way to describe him.
He qualifies for David's comment about guys that just aren't good enough. I mean, he's a Rangers fan, he's a good bloke, he does a lot of, you know, the kind of off-the-field stuff, and we all wanted him to succeed. It's just he just doesn't have the level of ability that we need to be a Rangers player. It's as simple as that. And when people say things like, all he'll do is a squad player, I never understand that, because it's like, what good is a squad player you don't trust to play?
Yeah, it's just someone taking a wage then, isn't it, really? I mean, it's Eduardo Herrera then,
yeah, exactly,
isn't it?
Exactly.
It's just that sort of thing. So yeah, no, he was... there's no way Doherty couldn't have went in and done the job that Halliday was going to do in centre of midfield, you know, and left Halliday out at left wing back. Well, for about 15-20 minutes in the first half, when we changed the formation, he was actually looking a bit more natural there. So yeah, I got the feeling by then Nico was just like, this game's just nuts. There you go. You can have your kind of swan song there, Lee. See you later, almost. And I think for a lot of them that would have been the feeling. There's going to be a good number of them away. There are some players that I like and have defended far too often, in truth, who haven't proven over time to be good enough, that I'm still sitting here thinking, oh, maybe they just need, you know, better management or whatever. I'm still being an absolute idiot about it. The simple fact is, whether I like them or not, if we get a decent offer for them, they have to go. That's just, we don't have too many people. I would say, and we're not going to kind of review the season, but there's maybe only 4 or 5 players at the moment that I would be disappointed to see leave, because I think there's far more to come from them. After that, we need to be that team that brings in low, sells high. If we get decent offers for our players, and I include somebody like Tavernier in that, who, you know, certainly has ability and such like, but if a good offer comes in for him, that's the model. We need to take it. We need to let him go and see what we can do, you know, going forward there. Not always going to be about ability here. It's
economics.
Mentality is the biggest issue. As you've said before, David, a lot of these guys are scarred beyond belief when it comes to big matches for Rangers. And ultimately, you know, the overall model suggests that we can't have too much attachment to our players anymore. No, we're not going to have too many guys that we bring in and keep for 10 years. It's just about getting them cheap and selling them on when we can.
Yeah, my view on it is that with players that come in, if they do badly, we'll get rid of them, and if they do well, we'll sell them. That, you're right. I just don't think that in our league, and this has been the case for other leagues for years, even like Holland, who've been picked off for years, that if you have players who come in and do really, really well, then you lose them, and if they don't do well at all, then you get rid of them yourself. So it's you're not going to get guys that are there for 9-10 years, I don't think, unless it's maybe somebody who's a kind of fan's favourite, you know, that maybe doesn't have the ability to step up to a bigger club or a bigger league, or a more lucrative league rather, then that might happen. But overall, I think that you're right. You've seen maybe the last of guys doing 10-12 years at clubs like Rangers. Actually, that's unfair. Not at clubs like Rangers, at leagues like Scotland, or in leagues like Scotland. I don't think that it's going to continue. I suppose, David, you touched on it, and we'll get Alex's thought on it as well. The main silver lining was 65 minutes and a goal for Jordan Rossiter. He went off. It wasn't an injury, even though obviously, given his history record, we were all justified in fearing the worst. And I thought after a bad 20 minutes, which would have been expected anyway given the length of time he's been out, but especially given the way that the team just wasn't there around him either, after that he really grew into it. And not only did he play well, but he showed leadership and character. I noticed, for example, after Alves's goal, when everybody was celebrating, he was the one going round him going, right, calm down, concentrate. And when he was going off, it's just wee things. I noticed him shouting at everybody, keep it tight. They didn't listen to him, but keep it tight, game's won. Something that we haven't had, and it's been noticeable by not being there, and therefore when you see it, it kind of stands out. And overall, Alex and I had mentioned on the pod on Thursday that the ideal thing would be Jordan Rossiter to get a game and to do reasonably well in it and just give himself a wee bit of a boost going into the summer and a kind of hard restart.
I think, football can be really unfair at times. I talked about guys who don't have it ability-wise or mentally. I think Rossiter absolutely has the ability and definitely has it mentally. I think he gets it. You go even all the way back to when we got knocked out against Progress. He was a guy that faced up to the cameras and looked gently gutted and embarrassed. The problem with Rossiter is his body's betrayed him so many times throughout his young career. Yesterday though, hopefully it's a turning point for him. He played really well, as you said. He had a poor start. I did fear yesterday that the Hibs midfield with Scott Allan were going to run over him, but Allan looked like he was trying to bully him even before the assault that he never got sent off for. I think though, if we keep Rossiter fit, and we had a similar situation the start of this season where he came back looking fit and once again got an injury, if we keep him fit, I think he's a real asset for us. And I think Gerrard will be really excited to work with him as well. I think Gerrard will see a lot of himself in Rossiter. You remember in Gerrard when he was starting out, he had a lot of injury problems in the early part of his career, and he came through it, so it can happen. It is a worry, and it's a point though that if this happens again, what do we do with the guy? We can't really release him or fire him. That's just not an option. I think at this point the club's invested time more than anything else in Rossiter, and we're both at a point now where we need to get something back for it. And the guy who'll be feeling this more than MD else will be Ross himself. He'll be one of the most frustrated guy on the planet, especially after the performances like yesterday. He knows he can do it. He knows he's a footballer, but when his body betrays him like it has done so far, it's just impossible for him to show that in the park. But hopefully now we're at the point, got a good performance from him yesterday. Hopefully he'll have a healthy summer and we'll kick on and see the very best of him next season.
Alex?
I'm going to slightly disagree with you guys at just one point. I actually thought in the first 20 minutes Jordan Rossiter was the only player that we had who had anything about him. In that first 20 minutes, he was charging down shots. He was clean. There was one point where Hibs got a free kick. I'm sure it was a free kick anyway, and it was a situation where McGinn's got a shot at the edge of the box and Jordan Rossiter was the one closest to him trying to block that. The ball kind of deflects a couple of times, and then again is Jordan Rossiter having charged back into the box to go and clear it while everybody else is standing around looking and wondering what the hell was going on. He was composed enough to ask for the ball when no one else wanted to be there in that first 20 minutes. And I honestly thought, you're right, he was kind of let down by the guys around him more than anything else, in my opinion. That said, after that, and even if that's just a slight difference of opinion there, if I grant that, after that, for the 45 minutes or so after that first 20 minutes, to me he was a catalyst and the biggest reason why we get back into the game. He was a cracking mix of ability and aggression. there was a point in the game where it got a bit needly, and he had no issues, even with his injury history. And what would have been a slight lack of confidence in his own body, he must have that by now. He had no issue going through people in challenges, took his booking to rattle someone. And in many ways, as much as it should have been a red card, and as much as he's an absolute fucking cock, Scott Allan done him a favour with that tackle, because Rossiter was able to get back up, dust himself off and get on with it.
Yep.
And that will do him more good than anything else that happened in that game. To know that he can take a heavy challenge like that after everything and still get up and get on with it. Mm-hmm. His long-term injury issues seem to be gone. We're now just looking at the recent one he got was just a knock in one of the development games on his ankle. That could happen to anyone. We're now just looking at a bit of luck for him here. Can he get a run of 20, 30 games where he's fit? Because I tell you what, if he's fit and available next season, Gerrard will play him. That's a guarantee.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt. I mean, just basically on what we saw yesterday, he has ability that others in our midfield just simply don't. And he would be playing on that alone, never mind the obvious connection between the two. But you just look at the performance and you're right, I was just really impressed with him. I thought his goal was lovely. I thought, nice pass from Jamie Murphy, and we'll come to him in a wee second about maybe a different role for him. But it was such great control, and it was all natural, and then put away from a guy that we're told is a defensive midfielder, and there he is running past the striker and finishing like a forward. It was a really terrific goal. It was my pick of the goals. I know people will go for the Alves one, which was a beauty, but I think something like that, well, there's a wee bit more to it than just a strike. As good a strike as it is, I'm not taking anything away from it. It's just a personal preference for types of goals. And I loved it. I loved the weight of the ball from Jamie Murphy, the timing of it. I loved the timing of the run. And then he's still got a lot to do, and he does it perfectly. Just absolutely seamlessly. There's no delay. It's everything he needs to do, he does perfectly. And I thought he had a splendid game. Speaking about Jordan Rossiter then, I suppose we might as well go into the cowardly, pathetic assault from Scott Allan. And first of all, it's clearly a red card. I'm assuming there's no disagreement there.
No.
None at all.
I didn't think so, but it's clearly a red card. And at the time I watched it, I went, oh, that's a red. And the ref has the booking out before I'd finished the thought. You know, the ref has reacted instantly, hasn't given himself a second to think about it. And then I saw it back on the replay. The referee is about maybe 5 yards, if that, with an absolutely clear view of the high foot coming thudding down like an arrow into him, and the other leg scissor movement taking him out, completely off the ground, completely out of control, no attempt to play the ball. There is no criteria under which it isn't a reckless tackle and therefore a red card. None. You cannot in any way look at that and say, aye, but maybe. It's a red card. It really is. He's perfectly positioned. The fucking one thing he did get right, and you know, when it came to us yesterday, and it's just an absolute red card. On top of that, and okay, I'm going to be a little bit protective of young Jordan here. He knows, everybody knows Jordan Rossiter's injury record. Everybody knows, and he's went out to do him. I've got no doubt that that's what he's done. He's went out to do him, and I thought that was fucking pathetic. And I think it's a lot to do with Scott Allan trying to prove to the Hibs fans and to Celtic fans, because I think he's going back there to sit in their reserves or go back out on loan, that, oh no, you know, I'm going to look, I can get stuck in against that lot. I just thought it was fucking vile, and I sincerely wished, and I was disappointed they took him off before that, because the fact we can never last more than 60 minutes. But I would so have taken one of our players. Russell Martin could have done a lot better in terms of his memories among Rangers fans had he just asked someone, chip the ball up towards him, and then went and absolutely cemented the wee prick. It was vile, and I was utterly disgusted with it, Alex.
Yeah, it was a horrible challenge, a coward's challenge in many respects, because these guys know they can do this, and then there's going to be 20 people between them and any harm on a football pitch, you know, when everybody comes piling in. You wish, I mean, there's guys like, Russell Martin could have done that. Bruno Alves has probably played his last game for us. That was a guy that I would have liked to have seen cement him, actually. but I guess we kind of rose above that slightly. We should have won the game that way. But yeah, as I say, it's a total killer's challenge. And just a minute beforehand, Jordan Rossiter had taken his book and he had went through the player. It wasn't malicious, it was just, a hard challenge that he mistimed. Everything Scott Allan done was deliberately to hurt someone. There's no dressing that up at all. No way he can turn around, no way he can say forwards challenge or anything like that. That was, I'm going to do him. And there's nothing more disgusting on a football pitch, really. There really isn't. I'd rather spat on than have that.
That's the thing that people always say, the worst thing that can happen to you on a football pitch is being spat at. I'd rather somebody spat at me than try to put me out the game for months and put me in hospital.
Because these guys know how to do that, and they also know the difference. People who've played football know the difference between that was a bad challenge or that was someone going to hurt someone. You know the difference when you've played the game or when you've watched the game for long enough. So yeah, it was. I think the referee realised pretty quickly, by the way, that he'd made a mistake with the yellow card and bottled it from changing it, because he then, after everything kind of calmed down, had taken Scott Allan aside after the yellow card and he was talking to him. I think he realised by the reactions of everyone that he'd made a bit too quick a decision and fucked it. And let's be honest, the referee could have went back and said, you know what, I fucked that, you're actually looking off. But he wasn't going to do that. Most refs wouldn't. And yeah, I think when if he was asked about it now, he'd say, yeah, that was a red card, I made a mistake. But that's no good. That's no good to us, because, as you say, there was no debate. There's no way anybody watched that in real time and thought, oh, that's a yellow card. Everyone who watched it went, fuck right off, So yeah, he got away with one there. He'll probably end up back in loan at Hibs anyway, so hopefully Rossiter's got card marked for the next time.
Absolutely, and I think he definitely is owed one. And I'd like to see the rest of the Rangers squad take it in turns. Not the only mistake from the referee when it came to us, and I should say straight away that I had no problem at all with the penalty. Like you guys at first, I was like, what's that been given for? Saw the replay, saw where the ref was and went, alright. I didn't think I thought the first booking was a little harsh, and I think there were other tackles kicking about, but the second one is a stonewall yellow card. You can't do that, and it was stupid, and it was a shame because he'd obviously played a huge part in getting us back into the game. But David, the penalty for the Stephen Whittaker handball, I mean, it's the handballiest handball you'll ever see. He extends his arm out as far as it will go and leans into the ball. You can't be getting these things wrong. And people will say, paranoid Rangers fans and you're typical. The reason that we're paranoid is because we keep getting fucked. And I don't mean that we're getting the odd bad decision against us, which hurts. Here's a big week, and we've had 2 game-changing decisions against us, 3 game-changing decisions in 2 games, in 2 crucial matches. Against Hibs this season, we've had a litany of them. And when it continually happens, I've said this before, I don't believe there's a conspiracy. I don't think the referees get together and say we're going to fuck Rangers, but I do think the referee is differently, and I think it's to do with the environment in which Scottish football currently finds itself.
No, well, I put up on Twitter yesterday after the game that I don't believe the referees in Scotland are cheats. I believe they're, one, very poor at their job, and I also think it is easier to give bad decisions against us than it is other teams. The Scott Allan one, it's easier not to send Scott Allan off for Andrew Dallas, because nobody at Rangers is going to have a go at him for not sending Allan off. But if he sends Scott Allan off, first person he's going to have in his ear at 90 minutes is Neil Lennon bitching and moaning at him. So, you talk about being refereed to a different standard. It's even, on a subconscious level, he thinks, split second, if I send him off, he's going to be in my ear straight away, giving me jet. The sending off for Jason Hall, the first booking was, you said, David, that you didn't think it was a booking. It was never a booking. He got booked for blocking a free kick that should never have been taken because the ball was still moving. That is gross incompetence from a referee, simply not applying the rules of the game. To the point, as a referee, and myself, from a technical point of view, I found that even worse than...
Wank!
Thank you. Referee and a journalist,
Jesus Christ, man.
Well,
do you know what you need, David? You really need your hole. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know, funnily enough, despite all evidence against it, I've never had that much trouble getting it for whatever reason.
Well, I mean, you can pay for anything these days, mate. Doesn't mean it counts, right? You know, it's like anyone can do that. There's no skill in that.
Yeah, I know. Hold on, David. In fairness, he's a referee and a journalist. He's not exactly making much money.
That's also very true.
That doesn't mean you can't feed an addiction. Do you know what I mean? Some people have got failings. Mine was alcohol and drugs. David's is clearly prostitutes.
As always, my reputation's just increasing every time I come on here, though. Anyway, referees.
Speaking of prostitutes, referees,
you're going to see. A lot, I think, I said before, it's easier to referee against us. In a lot of ways, I think that's our own fault, because there is an MD at the club that comes out and, does that old, I want our players to get protected. Nobody does that. At Rangers, we had Graham Murray for the majority of this season talking about how much of a hard job referees have. Well, that's all very good when we're getting, Ryan Jack got 2-3 red cards with Cindy this season. It's a hard job, but so is playing football, and when they're getting refereed to that standard, it makes it even harder. I'm going to say cheating a different concept, but it's cheating the players because they're trying to go about their profession and they'll do it under, unfair circumstances with poor refereeing. And, it cheats us fans as well. We want to watch games without, everything hinging on a referee. I don't know how many times I've watched us this season and think it's inevitable that we're either get a stupid penalty given against us or a guy sent off. And this is not a problem that's just, alone to Rangers. If you ask any fan of Scottish football about the standard of refereeing in Scotland, they'll all tell you it's terrible. And I watch a lot of football at different levels in Scotland, and at every single level it's awful. And it's very hard to change it, but something needs to be done about it because it's a detriment to the game overall.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Now, as I say, microcosm of the season, good parts and bad, and it wouldn't really be a Rangers Hibs game without Neil Lennon somehow making a tit of himself with one of the saddest celebrations you'll ever see. Hibs score in the last minute. Doesn't mean anything at this point because the result from Parkhead has come through. But Hibs score in the last minute, make it 5 each, and get a point after being 3-0 up. And the guy who told us that finishing fourth wasn't acceptable to him then celebrates a point that leaves him fourth. And does so by running about in the park like a small child who's had too much iron brew and Skittles and is starting to be really annoying. But unlike that child who will be taken aside and warned the error of his ways, he will of course be cosseted by the media as he always is. We've already seen that going on, such as the headlines that it was all the big bad Rangers fans' fault. Alex, sometimes with Neil Lennon, you can't help but feel this has been two times in 2 games now where he was gesturing to Hearts fans as he came off the field, that this kind of stuff doesn't happen to any other manager. And while his defenders will say, well, he gets a lot of abuse, possibly it's because he's a prick.
It's 100% because he's a prick. There's plenty of Celtic-minded people out there, let's say that, which is what we are being accused of. We're being accused of targeting Neil Lennon because of his leanings. There's plenty of them that we wouldn't give a 1 million for this abuse to, but he gets it because of the way he's acted towards us and because of the way he continues to act. He doesn't just get it from Rangers fans, he gets it from pretty much all Scottish football now. And he revels in it in many respects.
When it's going his way.
He enjoys it.
When it's going his way, he does.
Yeah, it's true. I'm not entirely convinced that Lennon's always in control of his reactions, by the way, but that's a kind of more serious discussion for another time.
I've got no doubts that there are issues there behind the scene, but equally, last week when it's not something that we particularly follow, but it was all over the news that he hadn't turned up for training, etc., and any kind of criticism or jokes was met by journalists saying, he's got mental issues, you have to refrain from this. And it's like, well, he's never come out and said that, so Until he does, then I'm afraid, no, you don't get to play that card. You don't get to play that card because, to me, that's cynical and it deflects from when people genuinely have mental health issues if you're using it just to get yourself out of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, even if you have come out and said, etc., you don't really get to play that card anyway. And I have sympathy for anybody going through any issues like that. I think everybody knows that, but you still have you still have to have, you might be able to turn around and say, do you know what, my reaction wasn't correct there, I wasn't in the right place, and that's, understandable. But we're talking about a guy here who, when he does these things, he never makes any apology for it. He come out, he'd been asked some questions about, did you think some of your comments after the Hearts game were a bit over the top and stuff like that. He's not making any apologies for it. If he was coming out and saying, do you know what, I was a bit too emotional and I let that get the better of me, whatever, I'd have a bit more sympathy for him.
Yeah, there has to be a level of contrition there. You're right.
Yeah.
What you can't do is act the way you want to act and then say, you can't say anything about this, I've got mental health issues, or send your surrogates out, which is what the Scottish press are when it comes to Neil Lennon. They are all surrogates for his behaviour, and it doesn't help him. No. It doesn't help him because he gets to just continue to behave this way. I mean, if you or I had that attitude to work that we'll turn up as and when we feel like it, then we would get ourselves in trouble. But because this card gets played, it becomes a thing. What I think kind of annoyed me yesterday was, of course, the hypocrisy of, you sung sectarian songs at him. Well, okay, right, fine, if that's where you want to go. Why, if you're so concerned about sectarianism, David, why is a Hun scum banner flying and you haven't felt the need to mention it?
Well, parity, that's what we don't have in Scotland when it comes to this. We're also talking about Neil Lennon, a guy who in the past has, publicly described the Rangers fans as orange bastards. So, in a sense, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. But, as you say, David, we're not playing in a level playing field when it comes to Hibs fans with their Hun scum banner. Not the first set of supporters to have banners like that this season, within the last month probably. You've mentioned before a lot, if we want to have an adult conversation about sectarianism in Scotland, fine, let's do it. But the problem is, we don't have that. We have people who just want to paint up a bad guy, and for a lot of them, it's Rangers fans as, these big bad bigots, and being sectarian essentially means, being a Rangers fan who's anti-Catholic and whatever else. There's a lot of people in this country that thinks you can't be sectarian towards Protestants or people who are perceived to be Protestants, which is, I'd say the majority of the Rangers support don't really bother with religion. I think the majority of people in Scotland nowadays don't bother with religion.
No, we're a post-religious society. It's a secular society in the main.
It's sticky, though, this, especially when you live in the west of Scotland. It sticks to you, your background or your upbringing. Like, for myself, I'm an atheist that's got absolutely no time with for religion. But, of course, I've myself been called a Hun, an orange bastard, whatever else.
Maybe your godlessness is why you're seeking solace in prostitutes, David. Have you considered that?
Well,
let's put David under the microscope. David, have you thought about maybe if you turned over your life to our Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ, that maybe you wouldn't then need to spend all your money on the wages of sin?
My Lord and Saviour is Stephen Gerrard, and I'll follow him to 55, thank you.
That works for me as well, buddy. Alex, moving on from that prick, not you, David.
Thanks very much.
No, not you. You're referee nonetheless, but you're our referee along with Cammy. Fucking hell, Alex, we're attracting these cunts like flies.
Yeah. I would also like to point out to everybody that's listening, you just heard the end of any sort of journalistic career David was hoping to have in Scotland.
I told him that when he signed up for this.
Issues elsewhere, he has just essentially killed his chances of getting a job.
Yeah, well done, David. But to be fair, in 10 years' time, Heart and Hand's going to be the only media left over in Scotland, so you've probably got him in the ground floor. Yeah. He's probably done well there. Alex, let's move on then. 27-2018 in the books. I'm not going to ask you, lads, for your thoughts on the season because we will do our last pod of the season next week. We'll deal with a season review. But let's move on to next season because already there are works in motion with the arrival of Scott Arfield from Burnley. Burnley had a remarkable season, finished 7th and qualified for Europe, which is astonishing given their budget and given their Burnley. I mean, look at the clubs that they're sitting proudly atop. Good signing, Alex? Bad signing? What's your thoughts?
I'm in the good signing camp, definitely. I know some people have some reservations about him. I'm one for trying to get expectations managed when a new player comes in, and I think Arfield might be one of those guys where people will have certain expectations of him, and he's not quite the sort of player that people will automatically think. He's not the quickest. It's not a part of his game, but he does press the game really well. He's tactically very, very good. He can play 4 or 5 different roles across midfield and wide that you just give him the job and he will do it. He's the sort of guy that managers love to have in their squad, and there's a reason why, even while they were progressing as a club, Sean Dyche would consistently turn to Arfield when he had a couple of issues. If he didn't think he could pick his best 11, even at times when he did have players available, but he thought, I need this guy in this game. He played more than enough games in the Premiership under a manager who demands hard work and a kind of level of professionalism, etc. He showed more than enough in those few years to suggest that we've a bit of a coup here, actually. Given some relative, given the last few years, the sort of players we've had to look at. He's actually something of a good sign, and I think he'll impress the Rangers fans. I think they'll love his work rate. And I think, and you mentioned this earlier, but we never really come on to it, I think his signing may free up Jamie Murphy to play a role that we would get more out of him. And I think Arfield may end up being the wide left player with the style of player that he is good at pressing the game and such like, to allow Murphy to have a bit more creative freedom.
Yeah, that's a good point, and I did move on from that. Jamie Murphy, I think, yesterday really crystallised in my brain. He lacks that bit of pace that would make him a truly, really kind of dangerous wide player, but he's got really good feet. And when he moved into that more central role yesterday, you saw that, and you saw the way he was able to take the ball off the midfielders, hold it up, and then send people on their way or use it or recycle it really well. So yeah, absolutely. I like Scott Arfield in terms of a player. I think he's industrious, he's got a good touch, work all day, can score goals, and Burnley were going to keep a hold of him, David. I mean, they said that themselves. He's had a really good offer and he wants to go back to Scotland, and Rangers of course a huge club, but they were going to keep him.
Yeah, I think for me I really look at it as two ways. Firstly, is he better than what we've got? I'd say that's 100% yes. And is he at a level that we need to get to that next level ourselves and be challenging for the title again? I think he is. I think he'll, do a really good job for us. You mentioned there as well about the Scotland that wants to be here. In my opinion, I watched his press conference this afternoon when he was unveiled, and he looked buzzing. He said himself he was buzzing. He just looked so happy to be here. I think he's excited to be playing for a club the size of Rangers, and I think as well we're seeing the effects already of the appeal of playing under Steven Gerrard. I think he'll be, as a midfielder especially, absolutely raring to go and have a guy like Gerrard behind him telling him, even at that stage of his career, how to improve and what to do. I think it's a very good start for us. I know there's some grumbles out there about we need a new defence, we need strikers. Yes, we do, but I'd also say to people, remember, we're only in May. This is our first signing, and as our first signing, I think it's a really good one to go forward from here.
Yeah, I've noticed that, Alex, that some people have said, well, centre halves, and it's like, it's May. Calm down.
We've got this very strange thing, and I think it's just part of the kind of social media generation almost, and I don't mean that in a bad way because I'm firmly on there, but we've got this weird thing of judging. We seem to make judgments on transfers individually when it's a transfer window and there's a whole time. We should actually do what we actually did is a live show recently. You come after the window's closed and you judge it as a whole. You judge it as, what does this suggest, what sort of plan looks to be in place, etc., etc. If you just look at individual signings, I mean, remember the reaction to Sean Goss in January, for example. Lone player, hardly kicked a ball, what's the point in that? And everything was doom and gloom. In January, then we go out and sign the likes of Murphy, Docherty, and when you looked at it as an overall, it fit, it worked. Didn't work out for us on the pitch the way that we hoped, but you could see what the plan was. We seem to be quite prone to just being a bit reactionary to one signing, Yeah, we will sign centre halves. If Morelos leaves, we will sign a striker to replace him. There will probably be another striker coming in even if he doesn't leave. Relax. We don't need them right now. The players are all going away for about 4 weeks probably. They'll be here, but this isn't it's not as if we've got a big game coming up in the next 2 weeks or something like
that. No, absolutely not. In terms of that, we've now been linked with Ollie McBurney, with papers reporting a £4 million bid. And I think, like a lot of people, before we even get to Ollie McBurney the player, £4 million on one player is a lot of money for us. Really a lot of money for us. But is this indicative of a much bigger budget, which I think I certainly have suspected that we would have? I maintain Steven Gerrard doesn't come in to be given $8 million or whatever and told to go off and build a new squad. And rumours are kicking about possible further internal investment, which would tie in with Dave King's, that there's no new investors, it's people already at the club, but more money going to be made available. Because I'll be honest, I mean, £4 million on one player is a lot of money for us.
David, I'll let you take that one.
It's a hell of a lot of money for us, especially for a guy like Ollie McBurney, who I think one of his big pluses is his potential more than he's a finished article. And for us to be paying £4 million for someone who isn't the finished article, is a huge risk. I'll be honest saying I've not seen a lot of the guy play. I follow him on Twitter and I love him through that because he's a massive blue nose and he's not scared to show it. I'm a bit sceptical if that's how much McBurney costs. I don't know if we're going to be anywhere near it, to be honest. And there's also a part of me as well thinking, if we're going to spend $4 million on a striker, is McBurney the best we can get as well?
No, over and above the fact that it's a player that I think a lot of us would maybe look at and go, well, $4 million seems hefty for him. But that's that market, Alex. That's how much guys like that cost. And if we want to shop in that market, that's what we will pay. But if we want to shop in that market, if you want to shop in Waitrose, you're going to have more money in your pocket, realistically, than if you want to shop at Lidl.
Yeah, if the reports of that size of bid are true, and we don't know if they are, you're right, it does suggest a bigger budget. Now, whether that comes through investment or sales of current players or whatever it is, it would suggest there's no way Gerrard's coming in for, with a budget of less than £10 million and using $4 million of it on Oliver McBurney. That's not going to happen. What I would say from my perspective is, wasn't that long ago when it was a kind of normalised Rangers, or what you would expect us to get back to, that we were spending more than that on Kyle Lafferty, who was just as big a punt in terms of, potential. He hadn't done any more in the game than Oliver McBurney's done so far at that point, and we spent more money than that on Kyle Lafferty, took a bit of a punt on him, and depending on who you speak to, that worked or it didn't work. But that's a kind of normalised Rangers. I get a bit frustrated by, and that was how many years ago? 9 years ago now, probably. It was just after the UEFA run, wasn't it? We spent that money on him.
Yep, it was.
It was
10 years ago.
10 years ago now. So
10 years ago today, the UEFA Cup final, Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do. I am aware of that. So I was just trying to remember exactly when Lafferty came in. I couldn't remember if it was just the summer after that. But that's... Think about, take for example, Celtic signed Gary Hooper for £2.2 million. Right? A player who'd scored a number of goals for Scunthorpe in the Championship. Any player that age, 21-year-old, that's scoring that many goals in the English Championship nowadays is probably costing you about 5 times that much now.
Yeah,
and that's an English Championship player. That's a player who, and he done well for them, but that's the sort of issue we've got now. I don't think £4 million gets you a complete striker. It probably hasn't in a long time. People keep going on about Jelavic. Jelavic wasn't a complete striker when we signed him. He just had more ability than just about anybody else in the league. And, you know, he still had rough edges to his game. And when he moved on from us, it didn't quite work out for him. So it wasn't as if we'd unearthed an absolute gem. You know, he was a great player for us. I like Jelavic, but he wasn't a complete striker when we signed him at over £4 million. We're not going to get one at that. I would much rather take a punt. And it's an expensive punt, I get that, but I'd much rather take an expensive punt on somebody like McBurney, who I do believe has fracking potential, than be linked with Jermaine Defoe on big wages, who is going to cost us
I'm
a lot of money anyway.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm kind of over that, and I think that, God love him, Bruno Alves and Russell Martin should have proved, don't sign people who've had a name, because when at that age, are they any better than the 22-year-old? But they just don't. Who's coming up right now? The 35-year-old has the track record, absolutely, but they don't have any chance of getting better. They're only going to get worse, realistically, and you're never going to be able to sell them on. So yeah, I think that at the moment, look, it was 2009 with Jelavic. In fact, it was 2010 with Jelavic. I was totally wrong. 8 years ago then, Alex. But I'm kind of, let's move away from that. And it's hard because you hear a name and you get excited and you go, oh, well, he must be good in our league. But we've got so much evidence that doesn't work out, David. We've got so many players have come in and it's like, yeah. And I do worry that the kind of guys we could get, you just need to look at a Barton or a Cranshaw, that they're not up to the level that we need.
I agreed. It's almost to the point now when I hear us going for a player that I recognise instantly that I almost get a bit worried going by our track record. Yeah, so I disagree with Alex from the point that when we signed Jelavic, although he wasn't what you call a complete striker, there was the argument we knew what we were getting. In terms of someone like McBurney, we don't really, his big upside is his potential. But to Alex's point as well, someone like Defoe, who's, come to the end of his career, if it's between a choice like someone Defoe or McBurney, at that point I'm siding with McBurney rather than an old stager.
Yeah, I can hear. Sorry, David. I can hear. I can hear people already saying, "Oh, this is two ends of the spectrum. Surely we can find something in the middle." I'm sure we can, but we have a level of competition in terms of transfer fees and wages that we probably have never really had, and the gap's only ever bigger now. We've got teams in the English Championship who can pay more money to players than we can, and they can pay more money for players than we can, and that's an attractive league to these guys who we could go and sign from European leagues, because it's only one step away from the Premiership. It doesn't take much to get that bump up. It's probably considered more difficult to do it, do well in Scotland and get a move to the Premiership than it is do well in the Championship and get a move to the Premiership. So I get it. If I thought it was dead, if I thought it was relatively simple to go out and find the next Jelavic, or to get a Dado Puzo who, was maybe 29, 30, but absolutely cracking, and we got him on a Bosman. But even if we, if we could find someone like that for £3-4 million, and it was a choice between them and McBurney, then absolutely I agree. Go and get a guy that's a bit more proven and has that ability that we can bring in and will probably hit the ground running. I just don't think we have the budget to do that these days. We're just going to get, everybody knows every player, These clubs have all got huge scouting networks as well, and it's easier for some clubs to take a punt than it is for us. And I just think someone like McBurney has plenty of potential. He really wants to be here. £4 million is, in real football terms, next to nothing. It's huge to us, but it's next to nothing in the game overall. So, I don't think it's a disgraceful decision or a ludicrously overpriced offer or anything like that. It's just, unfortunately, the reality of where we are. Where we're either punting on a youngster or we're hoping that some kind of older player who's past his best years can give us something for a couple of years. And then what do we do? Replace him with another one? It's
that's what
I would rather have a bit more long-term planning than that.
Yeah, that is what we've done, where the lessons never get learned and we do sign these older guys. And I get excited, so I'm not going to criticise anybody. It's easy for me in sober reflection sitting here right now to do that, but I guarantee you if in 6 weeks we sign some big name player who's 32, 33, I'll be over the moon. So I can't on the one hand I know what I should think, and on the other hand I know how I'm going to feel, and they're two different things, and unfortunately I'm not sure I can reconcile both of them. So I'll try and take a step back and be a little bit more deliberate about it, but it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. Moving on then, gents. One other thing. Stephen fucking Gerrard is our manager. Can you believe it? I just can't believe it. Honestly, how many times have you watched the press conference now? I'm easily up to 50.
It's the behind the scenes one for me.
Yeah, that's a great video. He's so handsome. Isn't he handsome? Alex, come on, he's handsome.
He really is handsome. He's annoyingly handsome, actually. He's that type, where you look at him and you think, you look like that at 22.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
You're fucking cheating, man.
Yeah, but that's what happens when you're Stevie G, though, because, you defy time. Yeah. But I can't believe... And little things, right? Little things. The last match of the day of the season, at the weekend, we get a mention. It's like having Rangers back. It's just great to be where we're supposed to be again. I remember 20 years ago when Tom Clancy novel, he was talking about, maybe longer, maybe 25 years ago, and he was talking about a soccer match, and the two teams he picked, Manchester United and Rangers. And obviously we couldn't play each other. He didn't fucking know that, clearly. But yeah, it was just, that was where we were. And I know we'll never get back to that again, I know that, but it's still nice to be at least closer than where we should be, than where we've been. Now, before we wrap up, Alex, you noticed something on Twitter last night that was highly amusing.
Yeah, Mr. Keith Jackson put out a tweet, and what seems to be a sort of regular thing for journalists at the moment, and I sympathise to an extent, because I know that doing it on your phone and predictive text not working correctly or such like can lead to spelling mistakes, but it seems to be a rather big thing for Scottish journalists at the moment. Even the fucking Twitter runner for Scottish Journalism Awards show was doing spelling mistakes. But anyway, Keith Jackson managed to somehow suggest to us that James Traynor will be the single with an M in the middle. I can't even say what that's supposed to be.
Simgle,
the Simgley biggest problem. Simgley big. I suppose starting to wonder if that's some sort of BMI description.
It's like it's like that song, Simply the Best.
Yes, that's it. He's Simgley, the single biggest problem. Jackson just, and what's that sort of like spurned lover style kind of tweet, James Traynor, the single biggest problem Steven Gerrard will have to deal with at Rangers. And then when asked why, because I'm all for opinions if you can bag them up, he's went completely silent, which is, as I say, it's kind of like he's had one too many wines. It's a nice day. The sun's got to him a little bit.
Oh, and I'm sure in unrelated news, it was the Football Writers Player of the Year dinner last night.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so he's got to, he's getting himself set up for that. A couple of pre-drinks going, all that sort of stuff, and just reminiscing about better days where not only was he, more relevant, which is, I think, fair to say at that point, but he had his father figure next to him. He had the man he clearly aspired to be, and now that man has moved on, and very much has zero time for his former prodigy, and he's quite clearly not taking it well.
Oedipal Rex, are we suggesting?
Yeah. I mean, it's almost childish to watch the two of them kind of use their various mediums to just
argue with
each other, and you're like, can we not just kind of get this over and done with, because the rest of us want to talk about the football?
Exactly. Why don't you two just go and fuck, and then, then we can all move
angry
past it.
shag out of the way.
Aye. David, you want...
Well, that's me not getting a job for the record.
Well, David, you want to join this, bizarrely, this profession, despite, look at them.
I mean, there's a certain romanticism about the old school alky hack who's in the pub every day, but it's not really that anymore. It's just turning a bottle of wine on your own and then going to Twitter afterwards.
Listen, you don't need to talk to me about the one of the things that always attracted me to the lifestyle that I led for many years was the whole doom romantic thing. But trust me, there's very little romantic about having to lie on a fucking toilet floor because the tiles are cold every morning, right? At that point, the romance is right out the window. Do you know what it is? I think that people, that recent film that came out about the Washington Post during Watergate?
Yeah.
And they get the reporters, and there's also a brilliant documentary, which I highly recommend, about Ben Bradley, who is the editor, or was the editor of the Washington Post back then, and of course Woodward and Bernstein. And there's a brilliant documentary that has footage from during Watergate, and he's going, "You've got to be able to stand this up." And they're going, "Look, we can stand this up. I swear, we just need one more day." And he's like, "Right, go out and get the story. This is important. We can't get this wrong." And that's what people think journalism is. Whereas, of course, journalism is actually, right, you need to go to Paisley because St Mirren have released 4 youth players. Not quite the image we have in our heads.
No, sadly not. No, in fact, journalism's becoming even worse than that now. I almost feel sorry for some of them because it's essentially just retweeting.
Yeah.
The news is broke elsewhere before they can get anywhere near it.
Yeah, it's incredibly meta now.
All they're doing is just recycling it.
Yeah, it's incredibly meta now. A lot of the journalism in this country is speaking about other journalism. So I suppose in that case we shouldn't be surprised that that's going to lead to a sort of internal conflict, and it's going to lead to these various civil wars. It was just really surprising to see it play out in the public, because they tend to generally, it's an open secret, but they tend to keep it in-house.
They do, yeah.
Come on, David, tell us.
David, are you willing to become the Keith Jackson to Keith Jackson's gym trainer?
Oh Christ, what kind of algebra do I need to do to figure that one out? Right, the Keith Jackson.
Are you willing to be the new Keith Jackson, and Keith Jackson can be the new James Trainer of the Daily Record?
Well, I don't think Keith would have me for the fact that in my other roles I've already met Jim Trainer, and shape a force field between myself and Keith that would stop me doing that.
Jim listens to this, by the way, so
Jim's a great guy.
So
great
suck,
guy.
Young man, suck right up. Now
he's a job.
On this podcast, we're not massive. Give him a job, for fuck's sake. He works so hard. I can vouch for it. I'll give him a reference.
Just any cunt.
Just sit and scribbling. David is by far one of the podcasters. What do you think?
One of the podcasters called David.
Yeah, he's undoubtedly the second best podcaster called David on this. Third best if you include David Kerr. Look, lads, we tend not to focus on other people, but it's the second last, the penultimate pod of the season. It's kind of got that, and it is the end of the season, so it's got that looser vibe, and I'm sure the listeners will forgive us this imposition, because we don't talk about other teams. But gentlemen, I want to spin you a sad tale. I don't know if you got the Andrex handy, not for your usual fucking reasons, Marshall.
Why do I come on this? I don't get it.
I have no idea either, mate.
Why do you come on this is a question you ask yourself.
Exactly. After yet another shame-filled session with Glenda at a tenner an hour for a hand job behind the local chippy. I want to tell you a story, gentlemen, about a football club. A football club who were, a small football club, but they punched above their weight for many, many years. And in fact, got to European finals, won Scottish Cups, won a league once, 35 years ago. And they were quite a respected club, real talent farm. And they had some bad times and were taken over by a gentleman, well respected. He'd built his own businesses up from very little into very successfully, and he ran them very successfully. And unfortunately, the gentleman passed away, which it was very sad. But he was safe in the knowledge with this football club, gentlemen, that it would be in safe hands, because who better to pass his football club on to than his son? Well, things have not gone so well at that football club. And on Friday night, Dundee United were condemned to another year in the Championship, and Dundee suddenly gained another Tesco. Alex, when you heard this news, given everything I've just said about this football club and its legacy, did you laugh or did you laugh really hard?
I laughed really, really hard, actually, option 3. When you said not for the usual reasons for having the hankies around, are you sure about that? Because, it's second. Well, no, I mean, it's not second only. It's certainly up there, though. I mean, it's not quite Steven Gerrard levels of masturbating excellence, but it's certainly enjoyable.
Fun, yeah, definitely.
Do you know, I kind of made a joke in the Patreon site when I was doing the pre-match pods, and we were playing Dundee, and I kind of made a joke about how, it's going through a multi-billion pound facelift, essentially, and there will soon be a new shopping complex just across the road from Dens Park. It's coming.
It might not be that far in the way, yeah.
There was chat last year that Dundee United would have to go part-time if they stayed down in the Championship. That's a death knell. Any club that's went from full-time to part-time, it's not very often they've managed to get back.
No.
That's if that happens, and we don't know if they will, but if that happens, that's a real killer for them there and then, and that's... I'm sure. Do you know what? Like, see if I was able to turn off who it is. It's kind of sad news and stuff. And as you say, there was a time when Dundee United were quite a respected club. But if you're going to be that bitter, and you're going to make decisions based upon that bitterness, don't expect any sympathy when they fucking come back to bite you.
They chose. That's the thing. They chose to deliberately go and make our life as difficult as possible at our lowest ebb, and that's why people, journalists and stuff, and people have asked, why do Rangers fans hate Dundee United so much? It's because of that. I mean, before that it was a rivalry, sure, and we liked to beat them, but it was because when they saw us at our lowest ever ebb, they decided now's the time to pile in, and it's bitten them on the arse. And you're absolutely right. I mean, these days in the Championship and even in Scotland, part-time clubs ain't getting up. It's just too difficult over a season. You just can't. God, I mean, Ayr came up to the Championship and it was a miracle for them to do that. I mean, it was a fantastic achievement by Ian McCall. But there's no way that if they go part-time, they're coming back. If they go part-time, then fuck, I mean, seriously, I have no idea how they're going to end up. Maybe like an Ayr United. But David, sympathy is in short supply. Now, come on, knock yourself out of your job at the Dundee Courier for life.
Well, David, I'm an optimist, so I'm going to give, a little word of encouragement to the people of Dundee. I don't think I'm out in order, and you can stop me here if I am. Dundee's a shithole. Am I wrong?
No.
Well, you mentioned Tesco there, and this is something I've got a bit of experience. My town, Linwood, the old shopping centre there for a while was looking like, I'll be honest, it was like a scene out of Chernobyl. It was like Eastern Bloc, shithole. But, Tesco came in, knocked it down, really done up our whole front street, and the place now looks like a wee busy modern town, and it's great. So people of Dundee, embrace your new Tesco. You don't need two football teams in the same street anyway. Don't worry about that. Go and support Dundee if you want, or, be sensible, go and support a real team. But look forward to a new Tesco. I mean, I'm sure they've got some great deals and I suppose minimal pricing means you'll not get your Eldorado or whatever cheap now, but look forward to a new Tesco, guys. It's only good things come to you, I promise.
You really don't want a job in the media, do you? I mean, really?
Probably not.
No. You talked about subconsciously making decisions
up,
earlier, but fucking hell. You've just killed it, mate. You've just killed it. I'll always find a spot for you, don't worry about that. Right, that'll just about do us for this week. Not really much to talk about, I think, on top of that, unless there's any other business, gentlemen.
No, I think, like most Rangers fans, we reflect the feeling of, thank fuck that season's done. Hurry up, Mr. Gerrard.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, though, we do have one more. Well, fortunately, I mean, we've got one more show. Now, people have asked, because of the Patreon site, does that mean that this show is going to keep going over the summer? No. As always, every summer, this show, the 2 free shows, they will be back in the middle of the, as soon as we get back into training, really. They'll be back, I would imagine, by certainly the start of July. But even if I wanted to play back, go on hiatus through the summer. So I'm afraid, unfortunately, we can't. But now this year, you will be able to keep listening in if you enjoy it and you think you'll miss it. Just go to patreon.com/heart and hand, and you'll find tons and tons and tons of content there that will keep you going over the summer. Just $1.99 per month. So please come along, give it a try. I think you like it. The people that are there, they're staying, which is the biggest compliment I think they could pay us. So patreon.com/heart and hand. If you want to wear the new Heart and Hand hoodie, which is very, very smart indeed, has the Heart and Hand crest on its on the tit. I can't think of a better description. On the tit, the left hand side, and also has 3 sergeant stripes, which are not Hummel stripes. 100% they're not, because that would breach copyright. These stripes are sergeant stripes and utterly independent of Hummel. Yeah,
David, you try to say this is just a hoodie with a Heart and Hand badge on it,
and 3 and stripes on both elbows. It's very smart indeed. And as you look like a fucking homeless, you should possibly get one and do your wardrobe up by about 100%.
I'm not a hoodie wearer, sadly, but you know I'm kind of looking forward.
You wear white jeans, for fuck's sake.
I don't fit any white jeans anymore.
The white jeans only stop at a certain size.
No, they should. For anybody out there, right, who happens to be something of a, controversial dresser, as I used to be, I think is the best way to describe that. Virgin on gay, but not quite gay. Manly enough to get away with it, but kind of also gay enough to make you think, Anyway.
I believe the word is bear.
Well, see, I've always kind of thought that bears were a bit kind of, more manly than me, essentially. But what I would say is that if you're a guy, it's not a guy who now and again likes to own white jeans. Once you get past a 34 waist, which I have demolished now,
to be fair, you're tall.
Don't get them anymore. They can only really work on slim guys. After that, it starts to look a bit, I don't know, just wrong, really. So, I mean, that would be my fashion advice, but as David points out, I'm absolutely the last person you should listen to for that. I
think you should listen to you're not wearing white jeans. Just everybody, even thin people, but men anyway, women can wear what they wear. Although I always felt that, look, this is just code, but I always thought if ever you saw a woman wearing, different coloured jeans, i.e. like lime green or whatever, scatty whore, just 100%. It was uniform, but it was quite a funny chat on the WhatsApp group the other day when I sent it round and people went, that's really smart, can we get one? I'm like, yeah, they're 28 quid. They're like, what, you mean you're not giving us one? You're fucking right, I'm not. It's 28 quid. Running fucking business here, cunts. So if you want one, you'll be paying exactly the same amount as the podders. Listen, thank you very much. I'd love to thank again for another year. This is our 8th year complete. Unbelievable. I can't believe it, and I can't believe the way things are going with the Patreon site and everything. It's incredible. We just have to thank you for the support, because without you guys we wouldn't be here. And you've made it. You've made the podcast everything it is. We did a live show with my best friend Kevin Thompson on Friday night. It was a sellout, wonderful night. Thank you to everyone in Dunfermline, and thank you to the Dunfermline Loyal for hosting us. We've got nearly 3,000 people on the Patreon site. It's been a remarkable year for us, even if the football has been utterly dismal, and I just want to thank you all for that. Thank our executive producers in London, Mike Lee and Paul Myers, for sticking with us for another year. We will be back, of course, next summer, at the end, or middle of the summer really, and I'd love to thank my 2 guests today for a really fun show. First of all, the wonderful Mr. Alex Staff.
Thank you, gentlemen.
The fabulous Mr. David Marshall.
Thanks, David. And can I just tell the good people out there, if they want to send any media inquiries or job offers to Marshall David 30 on Twitter. Cheers, guys.
My name's David Edgar, and I will be back with you for our final pod of the season next week. Till then, take care. Cheers, bye.